Section 16 of Astounding Stories 15, March 1931. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Larry Wilson. Astounding Stories 15, March 1931, by Various. Science Facts: Moon Rockets. 17 years of experimenting on a rocket designed by Professor Albert H. Goddard of Clark University to shriek its way from the Earth to the Moon came to a glorious climax recently in an isolated and closely guarded section of Worcester, when the rocket tore its flaming way through the air for a quarter-mile with a roar heard for a distance of 2 miles. Professor Goddard said the rocket was shot out of its cradle, careened through the air, a mass of flame, and landed about where it was directed to land, beyond the Auburn town line. Test of a new propellant was the object of his demonstration, Professor Goddard said. 2 or 3 times a week a small rocket goes up into the air a short distance, not enough to attract great attention. But the latest was a 9-foot rocket shot out of a 40-foot tower. Near the tower is a safety post built of stone, with slits for peepholes. The experimental party stepped into the safety zone when the rocket was started. The 40-foot tower is built much like an oil well derrick. Inside it are 2 steel rails to fill grooves on the rocket. These guide the rocket, much as rifling in a gun barrel guides a bullet. Professor Goddard, when teaching at Princeton in 1912, evolved the idea of shooting a rocket to the moon by means of successive charges of explosive, much as the new German rocket motor racers are powered. In this most recent experiment he used a new powder mixture. Professor Goddard issued a statement after the demonstration which said, "My test was one of a series of experiments with rockets using an entirely new propellant. There was no attempt to reach the moon or anything of such a spectacular nature. The rocket is normally noisy, possibly enough to attract considerable attention. The test was thoroughly satisfactory. Nothing exploded in the air, and there was no damage except possibly that incident to landing." End of section 16, Moon Rockets.